All right, so we have Russell Wilson and Cam Hayward post-game press conferences after the Week 18 loss to the Bengals.
Russ, it appeared to be a different game plan this time. You guys wanted to run the ball. Um, uh, Why the change, and did it just take too long to switch things up?
Yeah, I think that was our game plan kind of going into it, and and just trying to establish our physical nature and everything else. The game kind of took a while for us to get going. It wasn't really to the fourth quarter. Our defense did a good job of keeping us in the game, making some plays. It's a high-powered offense and things they do well. I thought our defense, gave us a chance to win that game. Good thing is in the fourth quarter we responded the right way. We felt like we had a chance. We had two drives to help to try to win the game. Unfortunately, we didn't get it done.
This offense be able to start.
Sorry, where you? Sorry. Yep.
Why did this offense be able to start consistently fast?
I don't really have an. I think what I'm going to say is, I don't really want to talk about the past, just because I think, we've been in that. We've been in that for a little bit here. I think the best thing we can do is get ready for the playoffs. It's a new season. That's the only thing that really matters anymore at this point, right? The reality is, no matter, obviously us winning that game would have helped us in some form or fashion, but at the end of the day, when you go into the playoffs, everybody's 0-0. You got to beat everybody anyway, and that's got to be our focus right now. It's been a tough few weeks, obviously. We thought we had a chance in this game. I love how we fought at the end of the game. Defense, like I said, made some great plays. Special teams, offensively, we came back, had a huge drive, to make it a one-score game, get the ball back. We had a chance to win it, and that's what playoff football is going to be like. It's going to be intense. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be tough environments and everything else, and we're going to have to go on the road and get it done. And that's really the only thing that matters right now, is us being able to adjust and think about that and be prepared for that, because really, it's one and done type mentality. You got to go get it, and you got to find a way to win the next game.
Russ, you feel confident you guys can do that after the past 4 games?
I do, yeah. I mean, I think everybody we've played, we feel like, we've had a chance in those games. I mean, even going back to Philadelphia, it's really kind of where, we kind of went negative a little bit and just didn't get all our stuff done that we needed to. We had some moments in that game, and it was a good football team. Obviously, the Ravens are a good football team. We battled back and forth with those guys, and we feel like that if we just do right and look forward to the next moment, that's got to be the only thing that matters, and the thing that we answer to. Yeah, okay. And then I think that most importantly, is we got to have amnesia going into this, and just win the next play. Just win the next play. Just win the next game. And we got to have the best week we can possibly have this week.
I'd like to start doing better on first down, put yourself in a more advantageous position.
We got to be effective on first down. Give ourselves a chance on third down. In whatever that is, I think that we got to be able to do that. I think that's a key part to the game. Obviously, is being great on first and second down, getting ourselves on third down, and then when we get our third downs, converting them. And that's the name of the game. Obviously, and I thought we did a good job of that in the fourth quarter. Especially we were in attack mode. We had to go get it in the fourth quarter. I thought Pat put a great game, made some really big plays for us. I think the guys battled. Unfortunately, we didn't get to win it tonight.
How many plays would you want back from the end of the game? You had 2 drives late where you could have taken the lead and sealed the win. Were there any plays where you're like, hey, missed this opportunity there or here and there in you guys' offense?
I got to watch it. I mean, I think that we had some opportunities there, to make some plays, and fortunately didn't go our way. And we all believed that we could get it done, and we didn't.
Few plays to George that weren't completed. What is your message to him, and do you think that connection can be brought back here in the postseason?
Yeah, I believe in George. Listen, everybody, everything's not always perfect for everyone. This is an imperfect game, and everything else. I believe in George. I believe in who he is, the player that he is. He's been a star for us all season, and he's gonna be a difference maker, obviously, for us in the playoffs. I'm looking forward to that, and what he can do, what we can do together, and I'm not blinking on George. If anybody believes in him, I definitely do.
What has to happen to strengthen that
I think, guys, he missed 3 weeks. It feels like forever. It feels like he hasn't made plays in forever because he was out for 3 weeks, right? I mean, it's hard to compile all of that and look back and go, oh yeah, he hasn't made plays in 5 weeks. Well, he missed 3 of them. So last week didn't go our way, for whatever reason, or I don't know, a week and a half ago, whenever it was. And then tonight, obviously didn't go our way. And I think that great players, sometimes, it doesn't go their way that day. You go to the ballpark and sometimes it goes their way. But if anybody believes in George, I do. I have no hesitation to throw the football to him and what he can do and what he means to us and our football team and the rest of the guys too. I mean, I think all of our guys, we trust in what they can do.
One target, I think, going into the middle or later in the third quarter. Was there a plan to use him as a decoy in this game, or was that just naturally how the game progressed with him only getting that many
I think it was natural how the game progressed. We kind of got going in the fourth quarter there, just what it was.
So the first drive of the fourth quarter, you guys went down, scored,
Yep.
heavy pass approach.
Say it one more time.
First drive of the fourth quarter, you went down, heavy pass approach and scored a touchdown. The last three drives of the game were kind of short. Did they adjust in any way to kind of stop that pass attack late?
No, I thought we did a good job. The drive that we ended up going down and scoring, I thought guys made great plays, and the line did a great job in protection and everything else. We responded in the right way there. Obviously, we needed a touchdown to give us a chance. We got that touchdown. Pat made a great play, and then the next drive, we got the turnover by the special teams. It was a heck of a play by those guys, and then we got to convert there. We got to make a play. I mean, that's the name of the game, and especially in these moments looking forward. That's going to be the part that we got to capitalize on. So, and then the final drive, we had a chance. We're trying to get in field goal range and get Boz a chance there. Obviously, he's the best in the world there, and unfortunately, didn't go our way.
When you talk about having amnesia, how much does it help that the season is over, you're starting the playoffs, it's a reset, and how much is it going to be a different identity for you guys to maybe go in to the playoffs as an underdog?
I think that I think that's a good question. I think that the big part to it all is no matter where you are in the playoffs. I mean, I've been fortunate to play in the playoffs a bunch, and the reality is when you step in the playoffs, it's a new slate, and it's a new opportunity, and that's just the truth. That's just the reality of what it is. And no matter how successful you've been in the regular season, no matter how tough the last part has been for us, we have a choice to respond the right way. And I got to I had a cool conversation this morning, earlier with Jerome Bettis, and talked to him about the 2005 football team. And there were some bumps and bruises and some things that happened and some losses along the way, and just I think they went in as a 6th seed. He was telling me, and man, it was cool talking to the bus just about that, because I wanted to get some perspective on how the team approached it. And the reality is like, man, this week is the only week that matters. And that team overcame a lot of obstacles. That team was able to respond the right way. I believe that's who we're going to be, respond the right way. I have no doubt about the guys in our locker room, and obviously Coach Tomlin, who he is. And we got the right response, and we got to make that response, a good one. And we get to control that. We get to control our approach. And the great thing is we get another opportunity to put on our pads and go out and play. And the only thing that matters is we win the next one.
Two more. Russ, you talked about Jerome, talking about that 05 season.
Yeah.
They went in with 3 straight wins, obviously with your 4 losses.
Yeah.
Does that make much of a difference in your message?
No, I think they also lost 3 at one point in a row, right? So they lost 3 in a row right before that. Obviously, we came in hotter throughout the season. Obviously, the last few games we haven't won. And so, no matter if you win them in the middle or, don't, whatever it is, I think at the end of the day, it's still a clean slate. And I think the important thing, for us is having the right perspective, figuring out what we can do better as a collective group. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity of responding, and it's going to be, a heavyweight fight, whoever we play. And we gotta go in it with the right attitude and right mentality.
Last one here. And what's ahead? Do you guys feel any added pressure to get together here?
Get together? What do you mean?
Like to get the offense together,
Yeah.
get it clicking. Do you have, or is there any extra pressure to do that within this week?
I think that I think the most important thing is that we're just hyper focused on controlling what we can control this week and getting prepared for whoever we're going to play. And we believe that there's nobody on the list that we cannot beat. You know, we gotta be ready. We gotta be right. We gotta be clean, and we gotta fix our mistakes, but also think about the things we're doing well, and we gotta respond the right way. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys.
So much attention this week of, for wanting to win this game with the extra day rest. How disappointing and concerning is it to not get it?
You look at these games, it comes down to 5 or 10 plays, and when we don't execute,
I was gonna say Cam was quiet.
there's nobody to blame but ourselves.
What were you able to do better as the game went along as opposed to those first 2 drives? What was problematic in the first 2 drives that you figured out later?
Just a lot of quick passes, and you couldn't really get our pressure home a lot early on, but we got our hands up. I thought coverage was a lot better as the game kept going, and we got a turnover. We were able to keep them out of the end zone multiple times, and as the game kept going on, I thought we played better.
You feel like you ironed out some of those communication issues that could help you going into next week?
Yeah. I thought, from a communication standpoint on defense, a lot of guys took ownership over it and over communicate with that. Week in and week out, you're going to be tested. Different things happen, but I like how we, as things progressed in the game, we adjust, we correct, and you're not always going to be perfect, but I thought we made some adjustments.
Is it as simple as going into the season and just flipping the switch, and you're confident you could turn things around?
I'm confident. I'm sorry, I don't have the energy behind this, but I'm very confident in the group. As a professional, you work your ass off to be ready week in and week out, and there's belief in the group, and that's all that matters.
What emotions are you feeling right now? Is not only the way that this game ended, but the way the last couple games have been going into the postseason?
I've personally, I just think instead of thinking of the multitude of it, I'm taking it game by game, and I think you have to, be a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? But I think you just have to take one game at a time. And the good thing is, Coach Bill always told me this. We're in the dance, and we're playing with house money, and nobody's gonna make it easy for us. But I like us versus anybody, and you can say I'm blowing smoke, but I do, and I like the group. It's about ironing out our mistakes and cleaning it up yesterday.
I think you had the ball at least 20 more minutes than you guys did.
Mhm.
Yet your defense was able to come out on the field and get multiple stops late. What does it say about your unit that you were able to make that many plays that late in the game?
Yeah, I think quick passes and just converting early, but then us with a condensed field, really taking advantage of that. Guys weren't free, and that's a multitude to pressure, communication, and multiple guys doing their job. There's positives you can take away from this game. We can sit up here and feel sorry for ourselves and talk about our mistakes, but you got to take the good with the bad.
What are some of the most important things you need to return that you guys did early in the season and maybe your last right?
We have to keep harping turnovers. We got to get back to 3 and outs. I think we didn't get three and out till late in the game. We got to be complimentary. Offense, defense, special teams. That's where we thrive. And we got to look at the slate is clean. They don't remember your record once you get to the playoffs.
Two more. Do you have a cold? Are you ill? Or are you just like this?
I have a flu.
Oh, he has the flu.
that started last night, and we've just been dealing with it.
All right, so we'll go through Russ and Cam quick before we head off to the locker room. So, a couple of these aren't related to Cam and Russ. I will say that. So the very first one I actually thought of while listening to Russ, but I don't think having Corey Trice on Jamar Chase was the right move. I understand the idea is have Corey, then a safety or just someone to double him, and put Joey on the number 2. And it's a very good number 2 at that. And that was the old Patriots system, where you put your best corner on the second receiver, double the number 1, and you try to force the third guy to beat you. And after T. Higgins got hurt and couldn't come back, that is when Joey just went over to Jamar Chase for the most part. And there were a couple times after that Jamar Chase was lined up across from Corey Trice. But for the most part, it was Joey. And I think like Jamar lined up in the slot once and it was like Cam Sutton or something. But honestly, it wasn't working. It really wasn't, in my opinion. And I think they should have just had Joey on him from the get-go, from jump. And Russ was talking a little bit about this, but we need like every bounce next week. Where he said, we can beat anyone, and that's true. But we need every single bounce to do it. And Cam said that too. Like, they feel like they can beat anyone. And they probably could. Because I talked about that over their 3 losses to Philly, Baltimore, and Kansas City. Where, especially Baltimore, the fumble by Russ when he chose not to slide. The 3 fumbles by the Ravens that were all recovered by the Ravens. The pick 6, you take away some of the plays, or maybe the Steelers get one of those 3 fumbles, And you can make the argument that the pick 6 was Minka's pick, and had they just scored a touchdown anyway, which is true. I'll admit that. But at the same time, it's if XYZ goes your way, it's a lot closer game. And I'm a little like him. I'm losing my voice a little bit. And they talked about George, and it made me wonder, is George's injury still affecting him? Russ said he missed 3 games, right? So is the injury still affecting him a little bit? Does he not trust it completely? Because he missed those few games, is he just not in sync with the offense? That's all a possibility. And people brought up why Justin wasn't used. And, I noticed it too, and I questioned it, why Justin was not used at all. And I know some people were calling for Russ to get benched. And I wasn't there yet. I was, get Justin a couple of plays and see if you can get some splash here. But he had the abdominal injury, so is that still affecting him? And it's like, he wasn't on the injury report, or he didn't have an injury designation. Right, I get that. But it doesn't mean it's not affecting him. Like, TJ Watt's wrist is fucked up, but he's not, doesn't have an injury designation. Guys all have something at this point in the season. Unless you're basically unless you're Kyle Allen, you have something wrong with you. Kyle Allen is perfectly healthy right now. But that's the benefit of being the 3rd string quarterback, And then sometimes he had to be the backup. And he had to attempt 1 whole pass this year. So he is perfectly healthy. But just about anyone who's a starter that plays regularly, even special teams guys, they all got something that's nagging, you know. And then I wrote this down, but he gave an explanation. I wrote that he seemed defeated. And, like, the past few weeks, guys just seemed pissed off. And in this, he seemed defeated. And they mentioned the no energy. So I wrote that down with, like, a question mark. I'm like, what does that mean, no energy? And turns out Friday he came down with the flu. And he had a game like that with the flu. He played great. And that's pretty much more or less the unanimous consensus. Like, okay, Cam, you're playing great. Anyone who was against giving him a payday, with him being, 35 years old, they're like, yep, I was wrong. It's like, okay, cool. You know, at least those people are admitting it. So, yeah, apparently he got the flu. So he might, in theory, he might miss practice in the beginning of the week. But he would have rested anyway, so it's not like that's going to make a difference. But we'll see what happens later in the week and see if the flu gets any worse. All right, so let's head into the locker room and see what they had to say. All right, so it looks like we're going to have TJ Watt, Patrick Queen, Pat Freiermuth, Keanu Benton, and Connor Hayward, I would assume, because we just had Cam talk on the loss to the Bengals in the locker room.
Defensively, do you feel like you guys implemented the changes you wanted to make? Communication was shored up because you really executed the game plan you wanted to.
I feel like we did a good job, but there's still a lot of meat on that bone, and we just got to keep working.
What does the mentality shift have to be this week going into the postseason?
Probably not to bear these losses, these string of losses, and have a clean slate and go out there and string together some wins.
Keanu, when the ball's coming out that quick as a defensive lineman, hands up. I mean, what are you looking to do in those situations? You know he's getting rid of the ball so fast.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating for the D lineman up front, but just like you said, implement those, getting your hands up, and then we have opportunities to rush later in the game.
Can this be easily reset? You know, I know Russ talked about having amnesia going into this game earlier this week. Is that? Can you guys?
Yeah, we can reset for sure. You know, whatever happened in the regular season happened in the regular season. We just need to focus on the playoffs now and do whatever we can to beat whoever we play.
What do you guys need to fix offensively going into these playoffs?
Execution. Taking care of the ball, catching footballs, stuff that we do routinely. Just gotta make those plays.
TJ, you guys, they got a score earlier than you guys, and you guys kept them out of the end zone the rest of the way. What were some of the adjustments that you guys made throughout the game to take things away?
Just schematically, some things, and just tackling, trying to get as many hats to the ball, just normal defensive stuff. We were able to batten the hatches a little bit.
Do you feel like you guys solved some of the communication issues that you had been exhibiting the last couple games?
We'll have to look at the tape and tell.
TJ, what needs to change headed into the playoffs here?
We need to play winning football. We're not doing that right now, and we just need to get in the film room and get stuff corrected. But we're in the tournament now, and we need to play better football.
It seemed like early Burrow was trying to get rid of the ball really fast. You guys make an adjustment to that, get some more up-the-middle pressure on him?
Yeah, that's what we figured. And, it's just sometimes it's the game that you got to play, given with the guys that they got. So we definitely made adjustments. We definitely did things that could help out, I think. It's just one of those type of games, and I think next time, if we play them again, we'll be able to capitalize on those type of plays and just be better on our part.
You're encouraged by those adjustments in the sense that they scored a touchdown in the first possession and then they didn't get the end zone the rest of the way?
Yeah, it's stuff that we understood all week, and I think that's one of the things. Like I said, we took a step in the right direction. I think we just got to start faster. Just understand the formations, understanding guys in certain places and stuff, and just being able to go make plays.
Corey had a real tough assignment. What do you say to a young guy that gives up a touchdown early like that in a game like that?
He's going against the best in the world, and that's what comes with this job and stuff. So I don't even think nobody said anything to him, but let's go and go play again. That stuff is going to happen in this league, and it's football. It's football. At the end of the day, we got his back as teammates. We know exactly what he's capable of. So when it comes to stuff like that, we don't even blink our eyes. Just go on to the next route.
Did you know immediately that it hit him, or you just?
Yeah, I knew immediately right when I saw it, and I was just thinking, trying to get whether it was 2 feet or my elbow and my one foot down, because it's like catching the ball and just trying to possess it.
you guys didn't have a lot of opportunities offensively in the first half of the game. They were possessing the ball, a lot of quick stuff. Is it difficult to kind of stay sharp in the first half? I think Russ had 4 passes.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to get going when you're not out there and trying to get a flow. Our offense was definitely cold, but you got to give them all the credit. Joe Burrow's a really good quarterback, great offense, and when we get out there, we just have to make the most of our opportunities, and can't be going 3 and out, and just everybody being on the same page.
A lot of Haywards on the field tonight.
Yeah, it was nice playing against Shaka. I don't know if it was his first game getting called up. I was looking forward to playing against one of my college teammates, and I was like, oh, snap, it's a Hayward. We exchanged jerseys, but, ultimately we wanted to get the win.
So, yeah, there was actually, I think it was their cousin on the Bengals, if I'm correct. And I did notice the Hayward. And I think it was a cousin, if I remember correctly. So, only a few notes here. Everyone emphasized it's the playoffs. Everyone's 0-0, clean slate. Gotta play better. And the gotta play better is no shit. And especially the offense has to play better. And it's like, defense, it's a great offense that Cincinnati has, but you do have to get off the field, at times. And they did. There were multiple times where they got off the field when they needed to. And then there were other times that they didn't. And it's unfortunate that a defense can basically, hold Cincinnati to 19, that offense, and you lose. And unfortunately, if they hold Cincinnati, on one of those field goals, and don't let them get in their field goal range, then it's a different game. And it's hard to put it on the offense, or on the defense. You want to put it on the offense. And you should. And, special teams as well. Whether that's kick return coverage, actually kick returning, punt coverage, punt returns, whatever it is. Calvin had a fumble, but when we got one back on one of our punts. So it's like that kind of negates out a little bit. But it's just, sometimes it's unfortunate. And the defense can feel like they let down the offense. And it's like, dude, 19. It's like, oh, why don't you hold, if you hold them to 16, it might be a different game. But then, and I say might because Cincinnati's going to play it different and yada yada. So, it's unfortunate. And a lot of questions from the media about the quick passing by the offense. And I mean the Bengals offense at that. And it's frustrating. Like, you are just not getting, barely not getting there. Because they know if we get the ball out quick, and they can try to get the run after the catch. And, maybe Burrow gets hit. Or maybe Burrow gets pressured. But you know what it's not? A sack. And that's the thing. It's just you have to play a lot better as an offense. And defense, it was that first touchdown drive, and they didn't get into the end zone the rest of the game, and that's great. But it feels like they're not making enough of the splash plays. It's okay, 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, punt, 3 and out. Great. But, but then sometimes it's 3 yards, 3 yards, 10 yards. And it's because someone just barely didn't get there, or, some guy was lost in coverage, whatever the situation is. And maybe it's a matchup issue. And at that point, it's schematic. And it's frustrating, it is. I'm frustrated, you're frustrated, And it seems like, it feels like, Pittsburgh is spiraling down the path of, a round one exit. Where if they don't get every single thing to go their way, they have a great chance of losing to Baltimore. And we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see if Pittsburgh can get a couple lucky bounces and if the offense can finally find some success, whether that's Russ, Justin, or play calling, schematic, whatever it is, they have to figure out something. So that is it for the player media, and man, I just don't know. I don't know what they're going to do to beat Baltimore. I don't know if they can beat Baltimore, and they seem to have faith, but is that just, are they just talking out of their ass, or do they truly believe it? And that's a mentality thing. So, man. Well, if you did enjoy this, if you enjoyed my ranting, please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.